first and foremost salute KD and Esosa and the whole crew for all that we are doing with this series of discussions on how to make our society better. I want to say that I appreciate Lancelot's passion and he's been in the forefront of the battle to, well, maybe carry out a renaissance in our cultural and creative industry and community. I totally agree with all that he has said this evening. But I find the Korafor's question very germane. And that was when I had to lower my hand because, like he said, through the years, so much has entered the industry. And I want to believe that through the years too, those who have been in it have made a lot of, money, but of course, not the kind of money that Lancelot is talking about. But like he said, it's peanuts. But if they who have been in it can even put together the resources to begin to create some of these small, will I say, like he talked about in Benin, for instance, no theater where you can come and have a live performance. He has done something in Benin. Lancelot has done something regarding to a film village. He's working on a film village. He has a place where he's training up and coming artists. That is the kind of thing Okorofa is talking about. Because all the movies mentioned, I've lived through the years, watched these movies, and I know that through the years, the industry, the creative industry has produced stars, big stars. Is it music? Is it? And some of them have private jets and all that. If the resources that they've committed into acquiring all these facilities, if they had put some back into their traditional, environment, that is the film and creative industry, then it becomes easier to attract the big monies. For instance, Lancelot was able to attract Captain Osa of blessed memory to begin to look at the creative industry. And I think they did one or two films together, and I'm sure that would have been a good example to attract other people with big and deep pockets to come into the industry. I believe that the discussion has to be continued. Like he said, government has to show more than a passing interest in the creative industry because of what it can do. It can take a lot of people out of unemployment, get people busy, and then it can redefine our, self-worth as a people, our culture, our history, and maybe our ethics as a society, because that is where we seem to have missed it a lot. And the industry can help us to rediscover and reprocess our ethical reorientation. So these are some of the few things that agitate my mind regarding the ongoing discussion. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. That was very helpful. So,
thank you.
Lancelot, you've got a lot of people. They are backing you, your industry. A lot has been done. So much has been done. The challenge, as you said, is more money. And what they are advising you or suggesting is that you don't really need government. What is needed is for you to take on the challenge that you have done, to continue with the good work, but to attract. So I want you to please say something from what has been talked about.
Number one, let me thank the Mr. Kedia here and Madam Esosa for this platform. You see, this is another missing link that you guys just breached. Ordinarily, the personalities I've seen here participating in this program are not people you can just stop on the street and begin to blab to them. See, too much is pushed to the filmmaker to the entertainer. The business of it, we want other persons, like what you guys have just done now, to bridge. You see, the creative mind is a very restless soul. He's thinking of the next thing he wants to do. And that is where Hollywood and the American system has gotten it really, really good and right. Because there are different sector professionals. There are those that are handling the business of the art. There are those that are handling the money of the art. I am a filmmaker, for instance. So each time we go to some persons, they'll say, oh, go and bring a business. I say, I can't write. I say, I can't write. But I want this conversation to be bigger than this. Because when you run the magazine, the Nigerian magazine brings their clout to get people to, okay, let's listen to this guy and see what we can really do. So these are also some bridges that we need. When we say government, now, this is the kind of thing that we expect government to do. But the person that is doing, because you guys place premium on the industry, that is why you look at it. That's why you are doing what you're doing now. So these are areas we feel that can be bridged by government. Getting people to say, okay, fine, this is what's going on. I'll give you an example. I took Jim Ike. We went on a tour of Europe some years back. We landed in France. We went to a nightclub, and the Africans, they cited him. They were going to just eat him up. They couldn't believe they were seeing Jim Ike. Some person that was in the club was a Nigerian personnel in the Nigerian embassy. So the guy came to us. How would you guys just come to a place? You don't reach out to the embassy. You don't come to the. I was not looking at him, I was laughing. If we reach out to the embassy, what are we going to tell the embassy? What are we going to get from the embassy? But in every other clime, personalities like that have become so important as ambassadors of their country because they have such huge following. They said, next time when you come, let us know. That is not supposed to be. When the Nigerian movies are shown in local televisions in Southern American countries, we have embassies in those places. What have they been able to do to say, okay, all these movies, like in Jamaica, for instance, there were a lot of channels showing Nigerian film free of charge without the makers of the film getting anything in return. These are some of the challenges that there's no way we will not need the assistance of government to help us to say, okay, this industry is this important. What are the things we need to do to give it the visibility that it deserves beyond what we have right now? Like I said, we have not scratched at all the economic viability of this industry.